This here is the life of one Teddy Kasanga, a thug who succeeded Mwani Spata as the leader of the Gaza gang. After surviving the Witedia raid that led to the killing of Mwani, Teddy became the de facto leader of the Gaza gang. Another gang member by the name Kimondo, who was also lucky to escape death by a whisker, was also promoted to become the second in command. Mwani had proven to be a strategist and a visionary leader. During his short reign of less than 3 years, he ensured that all his guns were armed. In their armory was an AK-47 and several Seska and mini Seska pistols. The new Gaza leaders did not inherit a dilapidated group. The previous leader had actually done much for them. Teddy's work was more diplomatic. He only needed to plant informers within the police station and continue with the group's mission. Teddy and other gang members had already gone into hiding after the killing of their leader. In their hideout, one Kimondo fearlessly took to his social media accounts to mourn his former boss in a post that read, "Rest in peace, fallen soldier. You can kill Mwani, but you can never kill Gaza. Na mazishi lazima twende." Their threats were nothing but hot air. Mwani's burial was heavily monitored by sleuths and no goon dared to attend. Angry that they couldn't attend Mwani's burial, Teddy organized a hit-out at Moya town in Kirinyaga County. This hit-out was to check if the police were on their case. He sent 7 of his goons. True to his fears, police were indeed on their case and monitoring every move that they made. His goons were ambushed at Makutano Junction. None out of the 7 survived the shots of hessy, which could only be likened to those of Johnny Sins. Aware that the police were monitoring their moves, Teddy devised a new strategy. He split Gaza into 2 subgroups, one led by himself and another one by Kimondo. They would conduct the operation separately and only unite while sharing the spoils, or when sharing important information. Aside from the 2 subgroups, there were also smaller groups that identified with Gaza. One such group was led by Charles Owino, aka Morio. The group comprised of Bane, Kaben, Maxi, Jakabi, Odidi, and Lawi. The group would however disintegrate shortly after Morio was gunned down in October. Morio was gunned down during a botched operation at Kayole. His friends dumped his body at Mama Lucy Hospital and disappeared in thin air. The death of Mwani had badly exposed informants within the police. Gaza gang members who felt betrayed mentioned the name of the informants. The rogue officers, scared to death, began seeking transfers. They feared they would be killed by either the goons or their colleagues. This is to mean that by the time Teddy was assuming the leadership position, he had no informants inside the police. His first task was to compromise the police. This he did with ease since he had learned from the best. In a short time, he had informants across Kayole, Molem, Choka, Njiru, Dandora, and Rwai. He was now ready for the task. Teddy's reign as the leader of Gaza was marked with a lot of killings. One time in September, they shot and killed 2 civilians but never stole a thing from them. In the same day, they also shot dead a security guard. 3 lives in 24 hours. Indeed, Teddy had no respect for life. In October, the goon shot a police officer in the head as the area MP watched in shock. The police was trying to arrest a miscreant who had snatched a phone in the small gathering when someone from the crowd shot him in the head. In the morning of 28 October 2018, Teddy, in company of Kimondo and Kush, shot dead 2 police officers in Kayole and stole their ammunition, a Seska and a mini Seska. After this killing, they knew the police wouldn't spare them. They packed and left Nairobi's Eastlands. One group led by Kimondo moved to Kenol in Murang'a. The other group led by Teddy moved to Tala in Machakos County. Police sought to get hold of them either dead or alive. They could run but could never hide. All eyes were on them and all resources were deployed to track them down. First to be dealt with was Kimondo and his peers who had moved to Kenol in Murang'a. They were killed after a 5-hour shootout with the Reke squad officers. With Kimondo and his colleagues down, all eyes were now on Teddy. However, very little was known about his whereabouts. Unlike Kimondo, Teddy was wise enough not to use his phone. Neither were his gang members allowed to use the gadget. They would only communicate in smoke signals or by sending messengers. They chose crime life, they had to live it. Reports would get to police officers that Teddy and his peers were hiding in Tala town. This was, however, the only piece of information that the police could gather from their intelligence. After 1 month of tracking him through the phone proved futile, police devised a new strategy. They were not letting Teddy go. They knew Mwane and Kimondo were missing him, and so they were determined to fix their meeting. The new strategy was to trail him on foot. DCI investigative officers were dispatched from Nairobi to Tala. In Tala, they rented a house and began integrating with the society. Some disguised as boda riders, hawkers, njugu sellers, and others as desperate job seekers. The plan was to gather all intelligence that would lead them to Teddy. They entered the dungeons and the pits of Tala town but still couldn't trace the miscreants. Finding Teddy was becoming a mission impossible. It was now more than 6 weeks and no leads suggested that Teddy was indeed in the town of Tala. Teddy must have been a master player in the hide-and-seek game. Before they called off their missions, police gathered intelligence that Teddy was hiding in a small market of Kadhaani, in the outskirts of Tala town. They now went to the drawing board to plot the execution plan. They knew the goons were armed and dangerous and that they had to approach them with the utmost caution and professionalism. A plot was drawn and the dates were agreed. In the early morning of 6 a.m. on the 2nd December 2017, the police, armed as if they were going to fight in the streets of Haiti, ambushed the rented house in Kadhaani market. The early morning attack was unexpected and caught the miscreants unawares. One of the goons, acting on reflexes, poured the boiling water made for the morning tea on a sleuth. What followed was a fatal gunfight. As the exchange of fire increased, one officer was shot on the foot. One miscreant picked up the Seska pistol and continued shooting at the police aimlessly. He was, however, neutralized. Teddy had managed to escape to a neighbor's room, taking one Shadrach Cheruiyot as a human shield. Shadrach was a teacher and a tenant in the same plot as Teddy. Teddy tried to escape while shooting aimlessly. He shot dead the young teacher and managed to escape together with 2 other gang members. Police were not letting go of him, not after killing an innocent young man. The miscreants ran towards Monyeni market as the police ran after them. At the market, traders who had woken up to a beautiful day were met with a real-time DJ Afro movie. Teddy tried to camouflage amongst the traders, but the scared women ran away for their lives while screaming to the top of their voices. This exposed Teddy to the sleuths and the exchange of fire continued. In 2 minutes, Teddy and Sammy were neutralized. The remaining thug tried to escape but was cornered by angry mob. It had been a long day for him, and yet it was early in the morning. He had cheated death more than twice in an hour, but it was now certain that his time to die had come. His friends had been sent to hell and their souls were calling for him. Police were on his case and the mob was already doing him injustice. He pulled out a Seska pistol and shot himself on the head, opening his skull. Eyewitnesses claimed that he had a very small brain, and that marked the end of Teddy and the group that had moved to Tala. The end of Teddy literally meant the end of Gaza. Only small-time miscreants were left at Kayole. Do not forget to like, comment and subscribe for more interesting stories.